I've done it myself. That power washer machine is
All right, y'all, let's get
not
started.
that. Or,
Okay, so these
Time.
classes are recorded, which means if we have a session, right, like these sessions, they are eventually gonna be uploaded into YouTube. So if there's ever a session, a class that we do, and you go, wow, I felt so good after that, like, then you can always go back and look at the class on YouTube. That's the great part about recording these. So let's go ahead and start lying on our backs. I always like to get us to lie on our back so that we start introducing some heavy weight bearing directly onto the spine before we stand up. We're gonna take our block between the knees and the thighs. This is the foundation for most all of our therapeutic based classes. Working on the breath and coordinating contractions in the thighs with every exhale. As we inhale, we're breathing in through the nose, squeezing the thighs into the block as we exhale. And this is something that both of you are familiar with. Everyone's done this before. So continue with that rhythm. You relax your thighs on the inhale, breathe in through the nose, and then pause, squeeze that block and exhale. And you'll just keep that rhythm, only squeezing in on the exhale. Now, since that part of the movement, that part of our routine is really familiar, start to change up the breath a little bit and notice how just changing the breath can change feelings in the low back, in the hips, and in the body. So maybe on our next exhale, maybe the exhale is if we're fogging a mirror. So this fogging a mirror relaxes the jaw, taps into craniosacral connections, which means how the jaw connects to your hips and back. Unhinge the jaw and you can unlock the hips and back. Inhaling in through the nose, practicing that ha breath, fogging a mirror. And then maybe change it up. Change it to blowing out birthday candles or a whistling type breath. Inhaling in through the nose, pursing the lips, soft on the inhale, pursed lips on the exhale. Now the next one, a little different. It's sort of like fogging a mirror, except you'll keep your lips touching. Inhaling in through the nose, exhale as if you're gonna fog a mirror, but press your lips together lightly. And it'll create what we call the Darth Vader breath in kids yoga, or like a scuba diver type breath that hollows out the back of the throat when you do this. That ha breath, but closing or pressing the lips. It is a technique called Ujjayi breath. Now of those three, maybe just allow yourself to pick one. Notice where the body naturally goes with that exhale. How does the body just naturally want to release the breath, alleviating any excessive tension in the body, while we complement that letting go by contracting the thighs. Soft on the inhale, contract on the exhale. At least one more. When you're ready, let's take that block. We'll take it just off to the side of our mat. Placing our hands out from the shoulders with the palms facing down, supporting the upper spine. Let's take our feet out wider than our hips. Moving into windshield wiper knees. Exhale, sway your knees over to one side, left or right, letting your body choose. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, sway it over to the other side. And maybe adding in one of those exhales. You could experiment again. Inhale. The first one is fogging a mirror. The second one is pursing the lips, So it could be whistling, blowing out candles. And finally, you have Ujjayi. It's that ha breath with the lips slightly pressed. When you're ready, let the knees come to center. Let's walk the feet in so that we feel the feet and knees about hips width distance. Let's point our left toe, lift the left heel, and now sweep the leg up towards the sky with that toe pointed. From here, push through the heel, creating more of a flat foot. And now point and flex a few times, loosening up the ankle. After you've done this, maybe 6 to 8 times, circle the foot in one direction, 6 to 8 times. The ankle is such a unique joint in the body. It looks like a rotation joint because of those side to side stretches in the ankle, but it's not. So the ankle, as much weight as it bears, actually can be put into some vulnerable positions. Let's take it in the other direction, 6 to 8 circles, encouraging some healthy blood flow up into the ankle and around the toes. Come to a still point and wiggle your feet. Let's lower the left foot, lifting the right heel, keeping the toe pointed, sweeping the legs straight up towards the sky, and then moving through a flat foot and a pointed toe again. And again, it's about, I like to do 6 to 8 sets. So a point and a flex is 1 set. When we push through the heel, loosening the Achilles and behind the knee, find your still point, circle it in one direction. One ankle might naturally feel tighter than the other. When you're ready, other direction. One ankle might be a little more poppy than the other. I say it's okay if your joints are poppy, you just don't want your joints to get crunchy.
I think it's too late.
When you're ready, point the toe, let's lower the foot. From here, we're alternating knee to chest. So let's lift the left heel, take in a breath. And now exhale, draw the knee to the chest. Hold on to the sides of your thighs. Inhale, let the leg go. Exhale, right leg in, knee to chest. Inhale, release. Bring the knee in close to the body. So hopefully we're creating a little bit of compression on your lower abdomen. We're pressing the lower abdominal organs back into the low back and sacrum, helping to provide a little counter pressure support into that sacrum, low back and SI joint region. Let's do at least a couple more on each side, resetting the pelvis slightly here with gentle compression. When you feel that it's evened up on both sides for your body, bring both knees in towards the chest. Let's straighten our legs, both legs straight up to the sky. Create a flat foot. Bring the heels out to the width of your armpits or shoulders. Hold on to the sides of the thighs, come around the sides of the thighs, maybe even hold on to the backs of the knees. And now pull the knees down and in towards your shoulders and armpits, coming into a happy baby position. We could rock a little bit side to side if it's comfortable. The rocking sometimes is not recommended so much if you know there's an existing osteoporosis or maybe osteopenia in the spine. Staying still if there's osteoporosis there, so we avoid any stress fractures in the spine. When you're ready, bring the knees in, seeing the knees at the width of your hips or pelvis. Lower the feet, extending the arms overhead, nice big stretch. Reaching with such effort
and with such enthusiasm that it lifts the ribs and the middle back away from the floor. So you're gonna allow the ribs to pull up towards the sky. When you're ready, lower the arms. Let's grab our yoga block from just beside us and place it between the knees and the thighs, moving into a chair flow, not chair, bridge, not chair. Okay, so for bridge, traditional bridge, many people will squeeze the glutes and lift straight up. We're approaching this a little differently. From here, feel the energy on the inner and the outer blades of your feet, and imagine you're trying to pull your heels back without moving your feet. You're trying to like just anchor down or bear down into your heels, and imagine you're pulling your heels back, and you'll feel your hamstrings get really tight. Now squeeze your inner thighs and press straight down into the ball of the foot to lift the hips. So it's a little different of an approach. Hopefully it's less glute maximus, and it's more support from more like hammock type muscles. When you're ready, lower the hips, relax for a moment, inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, arms come down beside the body, start pulling the heels back, press down into the ball of the foot, squeeze into the block, using that midline energy in the body. Lower the hips down, reach the arms back, easy does it. Inhale, arms come down beside us, pull the heels back, easy lift. Exhale, hips come down, arms go overhead, adding in a choreography to this. So we inhale, hips come up, palms press down. Exhale, hips go down, squeeze into the block for the whole movement through the lift and the lower of the hips. Inhaling, squeeze, hips coming up. Squeeze when the hips come down, arms overhead. One more set. Inhale, hips up, palms pressing down. Exhale, hips down, arms overhead, keeping the hips where they are. One more dynamic reach with the arms, lifting the ribs. And then exhale, lower the hands down beside the body. From here, let's lift both feet, both knees. Take the block just off to the side of the body. Let's roll over onto one side. And from sideline, we're coming up into all fours. From all fours, finding our yoga block, we are going to move into standing, and we want our block close by to use it in some of our chair squats and in our chair flow. When you're ready, take your sweet time. From a supported forward fold position, bringing our block between the knees and thighs, seeing that the edges of our feet are parallel with the edges of our yoga mat. This usually is going to tell us that our thigh bones are slightly rolled in, which is what we want to take pressure off the back. From where you are, spread your toes out, spread them out as wide as you can. And if you can ever invest in those little toe dividers and put those on at night, that could help too. I know they have the fancy like yogi toe ones, but Dollar Tree pedicure toe dividers are just as good. From here, with these toes spread, let's soften our knees. Why do we spread the toes? To promote healthy arch in the top of the foot, from the ball of the foot to that pinky toe. 3 arches in the feet. Soften the knees, tilt the pelvis back.
Tarsal.
Yes. Look at her. Anatomy degree. Good. It's good. Inhale, bring it up. She's got it. She's got it. I know you know about the arches for sure. Big inhale, reach. Exhale, swan dive. Hands to the thighs, flipping the hips back. Squeeze that yoga block and maybe walk the hands down towards the shins, past the knees. Keep a gentle bend in the knees. That way we promote healthy blood flow, healthy circulation, even of lymph fluid up through the kneecaps. When you're ready, hands come to the thighs. Pull the elbows in tight with the hips pressing back. Let's press into the thighs so that we open the upper spine and back, moving into an extension with the spine. When you're ready, relax down all the way.
Let the whole back round softly into a C shape. Inhale, come up halfway again.
Flat back. Let's reverse swan dive, arms to the side, and then arms come up and overhead, tall extended mountain, Tadasana. From here, sweeping the arms back and around, bring the palms up and bend the knees, flip the hips back a little bit, and imagine you're sitting back into a bar stool. So we're moving into chair pose, but really bar stool height is gonna be a lot healthier. Look straight ahead in the mirror at the width of the knees and the ankles, and maybe bring the ankles in directly underneath the kneecaps. When you're ready, inhale, both arms come up and overhead. Exhale, halfway down, hands to the thighs, bending the knees. Exhale, relax all the way down. Let the body fold, using gravity to create a little more traction in the spine. Big exhale from the throat. Hands stay on the thighs or slide past the knees to the shins, maybe even fingertips dangling closer towards the floor or our feet if we want to completely just relax the shoulder blades. One big exhale. Let's walk our hands up onto our thighs, lifting through the spine, halfway up, elbows pulling in tight to the waist. Inhaling, straightening the arms, supported upper back bend, looking up to where the wall meets the ceiling. Breathe into the center of the chest. And now exhale, round the spine, soft C shape again. Shake the head yes, and turn the head left and right. Hands to the thighs, coming up halfway. With a flat back, reverse swan dive. Back and around, extended mountain, looking up. Sweep the arms back, big backstroke movement, palms facing up. Act surprised and pull the shoulders back. There you go. Bend the knees and sit back into that bar stool expression. Squeeze into the inner knees, press into the inner ball of the foot. Inhale, arms come overhead. Let's add on to that. Exhale, swan dive halfway down. Hands to the thighs, starting with neutral spine. Big inhale in place. Exhale, relax all the way. Hands might slide past the knees to the shins or even towards the floor. Or adding on to this, reach across with your hands for your elbows or forearms. And maybe allow your body to move into a soft rotation. So you could try to bring your left elbow to the outside of the left knee. And then come through center. Right elbow to the outside of the right knee, adding in some gentle trunk rotations here. Now let's refine it a little bit. So if you take your left elbow to the outside of your left knee, press your right hip back or push your right knee back a little bit. When you're ready, come through center, right elbow on the outside of the right knee, push your left hip and left knee back. Come to center, release the hands, one big exhale, drop your head and shake it yes. Walk the hands up onto the thighs. Flat back, elbows in tight, think of them like cricket legs. Inhale, start to straighten the arms, propping up the upper spine, standing cow pose, looking up to where the wall meets the ceiling. Exhale, soften into the C shape again. Completely relax, hang loose. Inhale, come up halfway, hands on the thighs to support the spine. Reverse swan dive from a flat back, arms sweeping up and overhead, big breath in. This is where we're adding on. Shifting forward and back in the soles of the feet a few times. Keep thinking about rolling your knees in. Rolling the knee bones in or pressing the heels out while the knees and thighs roll in. So we just got finished doing a lot of strengthening and stabilization on the low back and spine. We want to make sure we alleviate any excessive pressure or tension in the low back. Come forward, little lift of the heels, just enough to swipe a credit card under your feet. Remember to smile about it. Look up. Look towards the hands, act surprised, 1, 2, 3. Lift a little higher with that surprise breath, and now drop the heels, sweep the arms around, palms are facing up, eyes down the back of the shirt, woo! Pull the shoulder blades back, bend the knees, flip the pelvis bone back, so it's like you're trying to set down a big box, or you're setting down something really heavy. From here, shift forward and start to lift the heels. And just like we did before, imagine the knees rolling in and the heels pressing into the inner and outer blades of the feet. Check in with your jaw. Move it around. When you're ready, hands to the thighs, straightening the legs, tailbone goes towards the back wall. Lower the hands towards the shins and relax the head and neck. Take the block into your hands. We're holding onto that block as we bend the knees and reverse swan dive. Big inhale. Pressing into the block, into our extended mountain. From extended mountain, we're stepping our left foot back, a very casual stride. Bending the right knee. Oh, okay. Keeping that bend in the right knee, inhale, reach. Exhale, slowly pull that block down, pressing into the palms of the hands, drawing the shoulders back. So as we're pressing, we're lifting the elbows. We might feel some tension building up into the shoulders. This does work with the chest, pectoralis minor. So it does connect to your shoulder and rotator cuff intimately. Inhale, we're reaching up overhead, straightening the front leg when we reach overhead. Big inhale, looking up, and then exhale, looking forward, pressing the block down, bending the front knee, and maybe even coming forward a little more. Inhale, both legs straight, reaching up and overhead, option to look up, just testing center of gravity a little. Exhale, pull it down, bend the front knee, shift it forward. It's almost like a little rocking horse type motion. Inhale, bring it up, web the toes out, press into the block. Exhale, pull it down, rocking forward. Just one more. Big breath in to lift. Experiment with the breath. Hold it in the down position. Let's place the block in the most upright position on top of our thigh. Take the left hand on top of the block. Reach the right arm forward as if you're shaking hands with someone coming towards you. On the next inhale, let's circle it back, taking the knuckles to the low back, gentle twist over to the right, looking over the right shoulder. And it can create a bit of a balance challenge here for most of us. Imagine you're breathing mostly into that upper right lung. On the inhale, pull your right shoulder back. Twist a little more. When you're ready, extend the right arm, shaking hands with someone behind you. And then bring it around to center. From here, we're stepping forward, inhaling the block up and overhead, big breath in. Stepping our right foot back this time, tiny casual stride. Keeping a healthy bend in that left knee. From here, inhale. Exhale, pull it down in front of the body. Option to close the eyes. Next, inhale, lengthening overhead and straightening the left leg. Looking up, even looking at the block. Exhale, pulling it down, bending the left knee. Maybe coming forward with the body. Push hard into the right heel when you come forward. Inhale, bring it up. Keeping that rhythm of lifting on the inhale, shifting forward, pressing hard into the right heel, and bending the left knee when we come down. Big breath in. Exhale, active shift. Press straight down into the left foot and back into the right heel. 2 or 3 more. Easy does it through this fluid transition. Option to close the eyes at any time. Testing our center of gravity. Maybe just one more. The next time that you are in that down position with the block, hold it right there. Check in with the foundation and the feet, actively webbing out the toes. Let's take that yoga block onto the top of our left thigh. Right hand is on top of the block, reaching forward with the left hand, keeping a healthy bend in that left knee. We're circling around soft to the left with the arm and tucking our left knuckles into the low back. Keeping that healthy bend in the left knee, pressing back through that right heel. As we inhale, we draw that left shoulder back a little more. We could always continue to look over the left shoulder, or maybe rest the head and neck more in alignment with your sternum and collarbones. So thinking about centering the chin with your sternum and collarbones, that could feel a little kinder, preventing compression on your neck and pinching nerves in the shoulder. One more big inhale. Reach behind you with the left hand, shaking hands behind us. And now bring it around to center. Easy does it. From here, let's step forward, bringing the block between the knees and the thighs. Finding a little symmetry in the body. We're inhaling both arms up and overhead. Extended mountain, shifting forward and back a few times. Continuing to think about pushing the heels out, rotating the knee bones in. Maybe looking up when we do this. Lift and hold. Little bit of ankle, foot, arch stabilization, just a tiny, tiny lift. One more big inhale. Reach with your hands at the top of the breath. And now exhale, drop the heels, swan dive, forward fold. Take the block down to the side of the mat. Let's take our bodies down onto the mat, hands reaching towards the floor, 1 foot back at a time. From all fours, we can swing our feet around. Take your time to maybe give your hips a little extra cushioning. So creating a small perch, or sitting on a blanket, sitting on a pillow. Let's take our block from just beside us and place it between the knees. The beautiful thing about mirrors is that we can adjust ourselves, right? When you go to a therapist, like a physical therapist or an OT, a lot of times they're giving you all these little tips and things to tweak. So when you look ahead, you can self-tweak yourself. So look ahead, and however wide apart your knees are, the ankles and feet are the same width as the knees. That's what we're looking for here. Looking at the edges of the feet, if you had an imaginary wall next to both of your feet, we want the edge of the foot to be flush with that imaginary wall. Just pick one thing and tweak that. We don't want to be nitpicking. Let's take the fingers back. Fingertip light, fingers face forward, thumbs graze past the hips. If it feels more comfortable on the shoulders, we can always turn the fingers a little to the side. It's not wrong to turn the hands back. It's just that if you put pressure on the joint with this open, it can really hurt or overstretch some ligaments. Sitting nice and tall, you can put pressure in your hands if they're flat. We're squeezing that yoga block. Bend the knees as much as you want. You can make the legs straight or bent to any degree. Let's pull the toes up as we're going to experiment with leg extensions into hamstring curls. Pushing out through the left heel, only straightening the leg as much as our body is in agreement with it. Now, notice the foot. If it starts to rotate out, pull that knee in. Inner knee rotation. Relax your jaw. You know who you are. There's only two of you in here. I can really, with the two of you, I could just say relax your jaw. It could be either one of you. Okay, lower your left foot. Lift up the right heel and extend. Remember to rotate the knee in, not just the foot. It's the whole femur bone is rotating in. And slowly bring it down. Let's do a couple more. Act surprised. 1, 2, 3. Good. Extension left leg. The higher the leg goes, the more it's going to put strain on your back. So the higher the leg goes, chances are the more we're gonna do this. So you can always lift just a little bit. Check in with your posture, right leg extension. Whenever you're wondering, okay, have I lost my posture? You just act surprised, act surprised. Don't act surprised too many times in a row, that's a panic attack. When you're ready, lower down. We have one more on each side. Let's check in. Posture check, healthy foundation, pull the toes up, squeeze those knees in, start imagining you're pressing your heels out, and now kick it out. Ooh. Ooh. It's what we make it. Bring it in, other side, squeeze, extension. It's probably gonna feel different from left to right. That means you're normal. And now bring it down. Extend the leg, shake it off. What'd y'all think? The harder you squeeze, the harder it gets. I'll tell you that. All right, let's do real quick. Bend the knees, no block. Let your left leg just hang out and relax. I'm gonna put a block underneath my left leg. Hold on to the right thigh and lean back a little. Pull the thigh in and lift that heel. Option to rotate that whole bone in so that we're opening up along that quadratic lumboris area. Remember to relax your jaw. Anytime we manipulate the hip and low back tissue, the nerves can tense your jaw. Let's relax that leg, shake it all out. Putting a little support under the right leg now. Right leg hanging out. Left knee bends. Hold on to the left leg. Let's pull it back into the joint. And now gentle lift. Easy does it. Relax the jaw. Whole thigh rotates in. Hips are grounded on the floor. Breathe it out. One more. Relax it all, shake out the knees, walk off to the side. Let's lie down on our backs. This is where it all began. So leaning into our muscle memory, moving into side line with our knees bent, coming into our constructive resting pose, constructive rest. From constructive rest, let the feet go out to any width. Maybe experiment so you give your body like an opportunity to have a little bit of perspective. Take the feet out wide, take them in a little closer, take them to the middle. Notice if your body has that Goldilocks effect. So you take it to one position, you go, it's too much. Another position, not enough. And then you get into that place where it's just right. When you find that place where it's just right, start to let the knees sway a little bit, left and right. If you want to choreograph the movement to the breath, we twist on the exhale. Inhale, center, and exhale. Now maybe let those knees twist over to one side. And as they do, notice if you feel any pulling on your back. You can always take the top leg and lift it off the floor. And then maybe stack it a little more over your other leg. You might feel your shoulders start to peel away from the floor a little bit. That's okay. Over time, moving both shoulders down towards the floor. Palms can turn up.
This can help to open the chest a little more, may even passively activate some muscles behind your heart, improving posture over time. Just notice the breath. Where is it going? Where is that path of least resistance for the breath? When you're ready, slowly sway the knees through center. And let's switch that out, twisting over to the other side. Again, we could always lift the top leg and bring it a little more forward to stack more with the bottom leg. Noticing again if the shoulders have shifted or if one shoulder is peeling off the floor. Attempting to align the shoulders flush to our mat. From the body to the breath, tuning into that path of least resistance for our breath. Let's bring our knees through center. Hugging both knees into the chest to reset the low back. And from here, we could always lower our feet, keeping the knees touching. We can walk our feet out wide, resting the inner knees and thighs into each other, or we can straighten our legs out. You're welcome to assume any position where you suspect there's going to be optimal comfort, optimal ease for your body today. Hands might go down to the side with the palms up, or we could place the hands on our belly, noticing our breath. Imagining between the navel and the ribs, so it's about 2 inches above the belly button, there's the region of the solar plexus. And in this place is a gold orb of light. The element in this place is fire, an energy that provides heat, and it's also a light source. It's also a catalyst for change. As we inhale, perhaps we breathe in, imagining the breath fans the fire, and we feel a ball of heat growing in the abdomen as the belly rounds out with the breath. When we exhale, we still see that orb of light radiant around the body as we contract the navel to the spine. Inhaling, there's a warm glow expanding beyond the physical body, out and around us. Staying aware of that warm energy around the body as we exhale. Affirming, the affirmation that we could use here is I am open. This energy is all about change. I am open. And we can refine it today. What is it that we might open ourselves up to if we're wanting to change something? I'm open to new ways of thinking. I'm open to seeing maybe the same thing in a new way. I'm open to changing my lifestyle. I am open. Open is what gets us unstuck. I am open. When you're ready, put a little more effort into the inhale. Make the body really full with your breath and then let it go. 2 more like that. Let's wiggle our fingers and toes, thinking about any movement the body might want to do naturally so that we're able to safely eventually transition into seated. We're taking our time, maybe bending the knees first. maybe little knee sway or even knees to chest sometimes to reset and ready the low back and spine. When it feels right for you, we often recommend rolling to one side. This is primarily for blood pressure, but it also really helps to put less strain on the spine. When you're ready, we'll slowly sit up.
In closing our session today, the mudra, or the hand gesture to affect acupressure points in the gut, can be found by hooking your middle fingers together. Think of it as like two links in a chain, and you're putting a little bit of pressure into those links. Lower the hands down so they're just between the navel and that rib cavity. As you pull the fingers, lower the chin, maybe notice that tension rises up to the elbows and into the shoulders as well, so that that energy and ambition is rising up through the mind space. Taking a big breath. And exhale with a sigh. Let's do one more. Big breath. Let's press our palms together. Traditional closing gesture. We can bow together. Namaste. Let's go have a beautiful day. We're done.
My next.
Bye, Judy.
No, Judy does it doing it remote.